How's that attack on whales going, by the way? Is it going pretty good?
I am devastating them with longbowmen.
Age of Empires or?
Yep, the Edward Longshanks campaign.
That's racist. I'm taller than Edward Longshanks.
Neat. Probably helps that you're alive and he's not, so.
Thank God.
I think we're all taller than him now.
Who's the winner? Oh my God, you have to kill Llewellyn ap Griffith. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I could also stop the recording and just hit start streaming, and then we could do this live.
So we're doing this live while Banana is playing Age of Empires.
Winning at Age of Empires.
Racist campaign.
They're all racist campaigns. It's war.
Damn it, he's got me there. My Welsh exceptionalist view of history doesn't work anymore.
Yes, but this is the worst kind of racism, the kind against me.
It's
me.
Before we begin, the Gamer's Advocate would like to remind you that any episode could contain game spoilers, so watch or listen with discretion. And now your hosts, AM Comnenos, Banana, and Legion. Enjoy the show.
Come on, you big dildo. Let's record.
I don't want to anymore.
Speaking of dildos, wonder where that's going.
Today's topic is tear-jerking moments.
And our new merch.
Eggplant.
I just love the idea of a t-shirt that says, speaking of dildos on the front and nothing else on the back. Like, no follow-up.
What's on the back?
Oh, God.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Gamer's Advocate podcast, starring AM Comnenos. Always hot and ready, freshened up and good to go, Banana Hammock Republic.
Our palate is sweet to be sour.
Yes, and myself, Legion. We are going over games and gaming topics, and today we kind of chose tear-jerking moments that I guess kind of that make us weep and cry, and I don't know. I'm not one that has a lot of emotions when it comes to gaming. I can appreciate it.
He's a robot.
I'm a robot, yes. When I've done horror games, I love horror games. I love playing horror games. I don't react to them, so I'm not a great horror streamer. If you see me playing a horror game, just sit back for the cinematic experience. I'm not going to react that much, but there has been a game or two in the past that has definitely said, "Oh, hit me in my soul." You came up with the topic, Banana. Do you want to?
Sure. So I think there have been a few in pretty recent memory that I've been playing and found myself in that, like, really emotional, like a strong emotional response to the events, when typically it's like when you get to the closure of a story. And one of them was during Baldur's Gate 3, reaching that point with Karlak in my party, right after you, spoilers. This is actually a pretty big spoiler as well. Right after you take out Gortash. Karlak launches into a pretty upsetting speech. She comes to this realization that, you know, her purpose for a long time was vengeance and just getting back at the people who used her and took her life away from her. And now she's taken Gortash out, and there's nothing left for her. She no longer has a purpose, and she still has all of the consequences of those people using her. They took her life away, and she can never get it back. And I think the voice acting, the directing, the speech that she actually gives, the writing for it, were all done so incredibly well that you just have no other alternative than to kind of understand how she's feeling. And that was a really intense experience for me, is her launching through that realization and just kind of resigning herself to the life she has to lead now.
Thanks. I was beatboxing to not hear anything.
It was Final Fantasy VII.
I didn't get to hear any of the beatboxing though.
One day, DLC.
The Gamers Advocate CD release party. Well,
Oh, yo! Yes. Tracks to bang to. Let's do it.
Featuring Sade.
Do you reckon we could get Sade on the podcast?
I don't see why not.
No,
Is Sade alive?
it took us like a year to get Maffy.
And Matthew likes us.
Yeah. She's heard of
well,
us.
hold on. Yeah, let's not go that far.
Matthew's heard of us.
Yeah,
That's what I
there you
meant.
go, yeah.
Sade lived in the UK. I reckon I could make this work. I don't live there. I'm not in the same
She's
part of it.
slightly closer to you than us.
Yeah. Age-wise, closer to Legion. Geographically closer to me. I think we can make this work. We'll double team. Jesus Christ. We'll work together.
Oh my god.
Oh, caught it on the way. We'll work together on this one. Ay, 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 ay.
Another one
So
for the
where were
blooper
we?
reel when we hit episode 100.
Legion, do you have anything to add to Banana's incredible take on whatever that was?
So I won't reveal any spoilers or anything, so you can leave your headset on. Yeah, that's a very pivotal moment that you get after a culmination of many, many hours of playing the game. And so you get to have a natural affinity for your character and how they grew and they developed. And so you're rewarded with a scene that should impact you. And so I think Larian did a really good job of being able to
You're not a robot.
yeah, if you're not like me, it didn't touch me at all, but whatever. But I do understand, like, not just her character, but a lot of the other characters, especially if that one was especially tragic in so even if you do everything right, or in the perception of going the right way, a paragon route or a lawful route or whatever, you still don't get all the fruits of those decisions. But that's life sometimes. So I really did appreciate that they didn't steer away from that direction. They navigated into that situation because it was almost unavoidable. You have some scene. Oh, I almost brought up a different game for a different spoiler that Com hasn't played. So I'm gonna redirect my thoughts now. So
Just gonna change the topic of this episode to things we can't discuss with Com.
I almost brought up Dispatch.
You could.
but no, it's just yeah. I mean, so I can definitely appreciate what they did with that, and it definitely is one that I would have been remiss if you had not brought that up. It's funny, if as your first one, I would have done it out of spite just to mess with you. So anyway.
That one was it was recent and it was a pretty big deal. So that was probably my first. I don't know if it's like the most impactful one that I'll be able to discuss today, but it was definitely one that was in my head pretty recently.
Yeah, we've talked about it, so I knew about it. Com, what about yourself?
Yeah, the saddest moment I think that I can remember in recent gaming was when I was playing What Remains of Edith Finch, and you have the story of Lewis, the brother who works in the cannery. And you have this wonderful, bizarre scene where you get to live these mental fantasies that he's running through. And you know that something bad is going to happen, and it's foreshadowed, I don't know how many times in the 5 minutes or so that you're playing this scene, that something really, really bad's going to happen. But there's a part of you that just gets really into the thing that you're doing, that you're going with him on these adventures he's running in his mind, and you're going on these adventures, you're sailing these rivers, you're conquering these cities, you're becoming this king. And then you have that final moment of realizing, actually, oh no, I know how this ends. And then you have the moment where he's about to, I think he's going to be crowned or something, or whatever it's going to be. And there's the moment as he puts his head down and the letter from the psychiatrist starts to get towards the very end, those final moments of it. And there's just that realization of, oh, this was a He was really, really suffering. And this was how he met his end at a really young age, in a really sad circumstance, after suffering just delusion prior to it. And there was a moment when I was going like, this is so much fun, this is so much fun, this is so... Oh. And just the crash, like the drop off that cliff. Afterwards, wow. And obviously aided by how much they built your mood up during the whole thing with the triumphant music and the fun and the yay. Yeah, Lewis Finch from The Death of Edith Finch, just incredible.
I feel like that there's a lot in that game that feels like it hits pretty hard, but that one in particular was rough.
Oh, so it's weird how I can, like... There's so many. I mean, the baby as well, which is really tragic. But for some reason, the Lewis one just sticks with me. Like all the others, I have to take a moment and think, wait, what happened again? And then when I do, there's, oh gosh, yeah, that was awful. Or the fellow with the train, that kind of thing. And it's really interesting and exciting. And the kite as well. And you think back, and that was awfully sad. But Lewis, something special about it. That's a perfect story told in 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. That particular game, of course, as Banana said, there's a lot of setup in all the storytelling that you have. Just the simple memory unlocking. It does something there that you want to like dive into it, and you pay more attention to like little details because you're thinking, oh, okay, well, these aren't my memories, this is their memories. So you kind of want to like catch every clue that you can. So you tend to pay a little bit more attention than you would as if the story was being told to you from the normal timeline.
What about you, Legion? What made your cold robot heart malfunction?
Was playing Black Myth Wukong, and when you're playing it and you understand the story a little bit of how things are unlocking and this story and how it's unweaving, and your character is, well, are they being played by the gods? Are you trying to manipulate your way out of their powers? There's a lot of things that are going on, so it's a lot of context with that. But the point here is that, and I've said it before, but the people who are in power should not be in power. They're either abusive of it or they are just not using it to any purpose whatsoever. And so you have somebody like your main character who's going through this and has said, this is not right. I want to live the way I want to live. And I think others should have that option too. But they've tried to exercise that before and have failed. And so you have other people that that blood brothers who have come together, who've sworn allegiance to him because they believe in that. They want to move forward with that. You've fought side by side with these individuals. And you're fighting gods. They're not like, just another army or another faction. You're fighting for peace of mind for you and for everybody else who it could be affected by this. So you have this purpose and this desire and this want to. And your blood brothers that are with you also fall when you fall. But you are given a special role of having to redo your life over and over because you didn't do it right. And you get to see your brothers now who were fighting side by side with you now tainted and not necessarily always working against you, but they're in this role that has now been assigned to something that that they were fighting against before. Now they are fully part of that, and you have to make a decision what to do with them. So you have to execute them so that they can live a life without being imprisoned. But in their mind at that moment, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But you remember who they actually are. And so you have to take that. All of this is coming together at one time, man. It's just one of those, it's like, this is my brother. This is my blood brother that we fought together and done everything together. And now I must end his life.
You've atoned through deeds, Black Bear. Take this pair of eyes. You've served the righteous cause, Yellow Rat. These ears are yours. Your power has gathered immune, Yellowbrow. Keep this nose. You've endured hardships, Hunted Eye. Go with the town. And the bull, it is the hardest to turn against a sworn brother. You can have his body.
Wretched boy, your luck plagues your every step. Never have you made a good choice.
Save your strength, brother! We're yet to slay our way to the court and seize that senile emperor! This one must be the chief of their troop. Brother, watch my back while I go play with him!
Your reluctance is plain. Just like my own. They forced me to drink from the river of childbearing, to bear that boy in my womb. If not for that monkey, we could have lived our separate lives in peace. As if none of this had happened.
You're all cute. You knew who I was from the start. Why'd you choose to be their lapdog? I never wanted to sever our ties. If kinship means anything to you, give me that relic, and let me avenge my people.
My king! Let the monkey have my fan! And there will be no trouble!
Your brother, I've disciplined. Your boy, I've given away. Your wife's fan, today, I'll take it with me too. Find a master and serve the right. It's the only path left for the likes of us. Don't you understand, brother?
Wukong! I took out the bull's concubine with a whack of my rake too! Turned out, she was a fox squire!
Shall walk.
the way I saw it, with enough merit and a position before the Buddha, they would leave me be, and all of you as well. Now I see. For someone like me, staying alive is enough to be a transgression. Brother, take care of your wife and children. And remember, steer clear of my remains.
Games are exceptional at doing this, though. The bond that they can have you build with other characters over the course, they can do something that film can't. Television, I think maybe some of the longer series, they come close to it, but there's nothing that quite compares to the actively you and these other people in the game teaming up together, working together, and you really build an actual kinship with them. So if you do come to a moment in the game when someone betrays or when you have to hurt someone in some way that you really don't want to, it can really get that like instinct inside of you, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And yeah, and to have to do it anyway, it can really like play with your emotions. That's a really good example.
Yeah, I think there's really no other medium that will ever make you feel like you made the decision. That video games can put you in that position where they tell you a story, you get immersed, you get to care about characters, and then you're in a position where you have to hurt them. Sometimes people just check out and be like, all right, well, I'm not playing this anymore. Not going to make that commitment to this game. But yeah, it's a very, very unique interaction that I think you can only get in gaming.
You got another one, Banana? When did a game destroy you?
Actually, this one was really rough. So I've mentioned a few times, I'm a fan of the Borderlands series. I think Borderlands 2 is the best entry in that, and I think Borderlands 2 also has the best DLC of all time in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep. And if you play through that entire campaign, you'll get to the end, and there's a reveal there that I wasn't ready for. So essentially, throughout that campaign, Tina makes a few references to the fact that, well, we shouldn't be this far without Roland. We should be waiting for him. He should be here for the campaign. And if you've played through the Baldur's Gate 2 campaign, you know Roland dies. Roland's not coming. And this DLC, the entirety of this DLC, Tina seems to be in denial of that fact. And at the very end, she's telling this story, and Roland comes to the rescue. And finally, the people around her, they've had enough. They confront her and they tell her, Roland died. He's not here anymore. And she launches into a very painful speech. And you realize she knew. She knew the entire time. She is basically building this D&D campaign as her way to say goodbye to the person who saved her. And seeing that, investing in these characters, which I had through the entirety of Borderlands 2, through the entirety of the DLC, and then getting to that moment where she admits, yeah, I knew the whole time, I just didn't know how to process it. That was a really, really devastating moment for me. That was really painful. And it was so well done. And it's another reason why I think this game that has always been silly and playful and over the top, taking on a very real topic like the grief of loss, is really impressive. Not something I was expecting from it, but they did a really good job with it.
It's not the kind of game where I would have initially expected to have any real emotional response to it, because it does feel like it's silly, and it's very silly as a game series, and it knows that it is, and it leans into it. And it can be really difficult for those kind of games to build up the emotional credit with you that they need to have to make these moments matter. And I think there's games that have definitely struggled to do that. And it's interesting to know that in Borderlands, there's this, amongst all the silliness, there's actually a real moment in there that then sticks with you. Because what sticks with me from Borderlands, as someone who didn't play the DLC, is the fun, is the different guns and like the multiplayer and all of that. So it's really interesting to find someone with just a completely different memory of the game. You'd remember the fun too, but something so tonally different.
Yeah, throughout the entirety of the DLC, there is a character named Butt Stallion. And then I'm on the verge of tears at the end of it. Like, fuck you.
You son of a gun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Butt Stallion. I'll move on then and pick another one that was pretty rough, and I don't know how many people have played this one. There was a game called Valiant Hearts: The Great War, side-scrolling. I don't even know what I'd call it. Adventure, I guess. Based in World War One. I remember you play as a farmer, Emil. I think you might play as a German at some point too. I'm really trying to recall because it's Emil's story that really stuck with you. You definitely interact with them. I'm trying to remember, do you play as them? I think you're right. And seeing Emil he's sort of a bit older, probably tired. I think he comes from a farming background, and he seems to have these roles constantly that are non-military. So he's not dressed as a soldier, he's not ready to fight or anything like that, but he's been enlisted into the war anyway. It's World War One, in case I didn't say. And we're playing his story as he gets captured, as he finds his way back, as he helps a German soldier just on grounds of common humanity. And we get towards the end of the game, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't played Valiant Hearts: The Great War, although I guess if you haven't by now, you probably don't want to. The character sees what's happening in the... Look, a banana, it's emotional, I know.
It's definitely not December, and I'm probably getting sick.
Nope, it's emotions. The more you push them down, the more it's going to hurt. The character sees what the war machine of World War One is doing, and he sees that his friends, his unit, are all going to die, and ultimately he ends up, I believe he kills an officer from his own side who was sending his troops over the top to where they were going to just be machine gunned and left to die. And we see Emil then being taken away for this to be executed by firing squad. And just that last walk when you're playing as Emil and you realize that this character that you've been on this adventure with, and you've seen him play with this dog that he's befriended. You've seen him do his best to help a German soldier who he had no duty to save. You've seen him now save the lives of soldiers who are probably going to go on to die anyway. But he saved them in the short term. And you take him on this whole adventure. Someone who didn't even want to be in that war in the first place. Someone whose roles were all non-combat. And now here he is. And the end of the game is you walking him to the spot to be executed by firing squad. Nothing you can do about it except walk and stand him next to that post. And it's just horrible. It's an incredible game. And it makes no attempt to soften the blow. There's just, no, this is an awful situation. It's horrible that it happens. Deal with it. So yeah, Valiant Hearts, particularly the story of Emil, just incredible. Valiant Hearts: Great War, 2014. I must have been on vacation or something. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, iOS, Android, Switch, PC, Stadia. Quite a wide release.
Yeah, so you really have no fucking excuse, Legion. What the hell?
Yeah, sort it out.
I've never heard of this game.
We've talked about it on the podcast before.
Side note, by the way, Legion, have you gotten sicker in like the last 10 minutes? Your voice sounds like...
Sicko.
Your voice sounds like it's suffering now. Did our silliness pre-episode like...
No, I told them that story about Tina and Roland, and
I've been choked up with y'all's emotional stories.
Push it down.
I will try.
All right, Legion, do you want to regale us more stories?
Do you have another one, or do you want me to give you one that you should have felt emotion at?
So I thought of two, and if I bring up the one it's going to be a huge spoiler, so I'm going to avoid that one.
From what game?
Silent Hill 2.
Oh, please don't. Yeah.
Okay. And it will be in the movie. I'm pretty sure the movie that's coming out in January, I think. That'll once it comes out, just watch it there and then we can discuss.
I'll play the game first.
But this one will sound obvious when I say the name of the game. But Hellblade and Senua's Sacrifice, the first one. Senua does suffer from some mental illness, and it's one of those situations where her father's not understanding of the situation. And she grows up in a household being very, very, very sheltered. So we see this warrior type who is fighting for her survival and stuff, and she seems capable. And where's all this coming from? We learn that there is a boy in the village who sees her, and he is kind of like doing like this solo fighting, shadow fighting basically. And she sees that and she's a little fascinated with that. And instead of him like mocking her or shooing her away or whatever, he says, hey, you have a kind of a gift here. Let's see what you can do with it. Kind of nurtures that. And so she becomes more and more accepting of it because she's always been fairly ridiculed by the other townspeople. But she begins to accept him, and they become very close. And it is through his guidance, and not really, I wouldn't even call it guidance, but his support, that she's able to kind of grow into a more capable individual who's able to even stand up to her father and stuff. Their town is raided. And she envisions this raiding group in her mind as these almost monstrous type figures, which they are, but the way she perceives things and the way they actually are fundamentally different. But in context, when she's trying to find him, she's like, I gotta find him. He's my partner. He's my everything. He's taught me what I know to be able to support me. Now it's my turn to save him. And then she finds him crucified on a tree. I mean, it's an impactful moment. So what do you do from there? And she has to continue to move on. But yes, she sees that and she's walking towards it. She doesn't believe it and believes it at the same time. And it's harder and harder and harder as you get there. It's done really well.
I never finished Hellblade. It's one of those games that, like...
Well, hopefully you got to that part then.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But don't worry, it's not a game I was planning on going back to anytime soon. But I remember that it felt like they were dealing very well with issues that games weren't used to representing very well. We've had, like, people with... mental illnesses, problems, whatever. We've had them in games, but they tend to be very cartoonish, often villains as well. And now we have this character who was portrayed to be very sympathetic and deeply struggling. And to go on their journey was like a difficult thing to actually do. Like it felt like you were stepping into a very, very heavy pair of boots when you were starting on it.
Yeah, are you hearing voices, or are you part of this mystical, because she is part of a clan, a cult, a culture, I should say, that believes in mysticism and stuff. So yeah. Is she hearing voices, or is it the actual mysticism that's empowered through her? We don't know, because it is an RPG.
Yeah, that was that is fundamentally like a very terrifying reality to consider. And especially in that story where you're playing through and there is this struggle. You are constantly thinking you're working towards a goal. You're constantly pushing yourself to confront horrors. And then to have that doubt at the end of, well, I mean, did any of it matter? Was I just making that all up? That's one of those fears that like has always kind of been in the back of my mind, is how do I trust what I'm perceiving? And that game made it worse. That was a rough one.
One little tip though, if anybody goes to play Hellblade now, think of it in terms of like, you know how like we've talked about like become the Witcher, it becomes a little bit easier to understand and to play like Geralt. What would Geralt do? Things like that. With Senua, I notice a lot of people with the combat stuff struggle a little bit because of the dodging. Dodge less, parry more. It's kind of designed to be more of a parry first, dodge if you have to. And then you'll realize, oh, I'm getting through this a little bit faster now.
So there are a lot of them in big series. I mean, we could probably do an entire list on just Final Fantasy. But I think one of the ones that needs to be discussed is Morden's death in Mass Effect 3. Not just his death, but everything surrounding it, the big decision that he's making, and then hearing the recording after he's gone. That in particular is really, really tough. It's remembering not just Morden and what he was before his sacrifice, but I feel like that recording makes it hurt a little bit more, because that forces you to accept that he's gone before the game even ends. You're saying goodbye to all of these characters when the game ends, but you have to say goodbye to Morden specifically before that. And I think that's one of those moments. There will be some people who hear this and know exactly what I'm talking about. Hearing the phrase, "It had to be me, somebody else would have gotten it wrong," is the same thing to me as hearing "It's a terrible day for rain." It is so encapsulating of that sorrow of losing Morden. It is going back to that exact moment where you had to say goodbye to a friend. So that one's always going to stick with me, and that phrase is just an instant reminder of a devastating moment.
It's amazing. Well, not amazing. It's actually incredibly unsurprising when we think about it. But these all revolve around death, don't they? It's just. I wonder, like, are there moments that don't revolve around that really stick with you and hit hard? I was trying to like brainstorm over them, and I can't really think of any that hit me anything like Morden's death did. There's something about just the finality of it that's so rough. I think the thing with Morden's that got me was the choice hurts. I always feel the ending where I presume we can spoil this at this point, right? The
we
version
already have on the
exactly
podcast, so.
Yeah, the version where Shepard guns him down, I don't think it's actually that emotional. There's something about it which is very just okay. Well, I guess that was going to happen, but the version where he gets to go and do his thing and chooses to go and do that in recognition of this mistake that he's made before, what he's come to see as a mistake, is incredibly emotional. And I almost feel bad for anyone who ended up like down that renegade path and ended up with maybe Shepard shooting him. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same, for me at least.
I think if I remember, you choose that renegade option, you shoot him, and he still tries to complete what he's doing, which is that's a little rough. The idea that not only does he still think it was the right decision, but rather than try and deal with you at all, he is so focused on undoing that mistake. Yeah. It doesn't hit anywhere near as hard as letting him sacrifice himself, but it's still not great.
Yeah, I think, I had kind of forgotten about the going back up thing. I think I remembered in my head there's just the and then dead. You know, I knew it didn't happen immediately, but I think I kind of removed part of it from the story, which, it still does hit hard, but not quite as purely as the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God.
And then I reminded Banana about the recording. He sings Ave Maria. Is it Ave Maria or no?
Is it?
No, it's Oh Danny Boy.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty rough.
Shepard, hope you're well. New mission on Tuchanka could end things. Made preparations. Asked friends in STG to leave this with you next time you were off duty. Some of my older work. Performances, stories, merely entertainment. But entertainment useful at times. Good luck. In prophase you see chromatins condensed to chromosomes. In metaphase their centromeres align to make new homes. In anaphase they separate, then telophase arrives. And when cytokinesis comes, two cells lead separate lives. Hello, Perry the Pyjack. Happy to be here. Science fun today, very respected. Education of youth vital for future. Now, children, science key to advancement, but can seem esoteric, indirect. Practical demonstration helps. Release the Varen. Native to Tuchanka. Dangerous predator, but can be incapacitated with common household chemicals. Observe. Wait, please move Perry the Pyjack away from Varen. Puppets similar to prey could trigger attack instinct. Ah. Problematic. Suggest going limp. Struggling counterproductive. Sedative should stop it. Or not. Ah. Not attacking. Mating instinct, of course. See, children? Key to science is testing hypotheses, making observations. Next hypothesis? Attempt neural shock. Ah, neural shock clearly effective. Perry the Pyjack also clearly made of flammable material. Any questions? Glycine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, alanine. They all are aliphatic, so you will not see a ring. The lone human amino acid with one is proline. From protein we are formed. With two hydroxyl groups you'll find serine and threonine. For sulfur look to cysteine or to methionine. For bases you have arginine, lysine, and histidine. From protein we are formed. Now the aromatics! Tryptophan and tyrosine and phenylalanine. Aspartic and glutamic are both acids as we've seen. Or amide C, asparagine, and also glutamine. From protein we are formed. Omega. Sky was color of VidCam tuned to a dead Vorcha. Business so bad that if Volus would have sold my suit. Then troubled Doppler shifted Deepasari blue as it came through my door. Likely Elcor father. High gravity adapted in all right places. Asari said Krogan thug after her business. If could get rid of him, said she'd be grateful for all eternity. Found Krogan in slums. First shot hit primary heart, but Krogan have redundant nervous system. Felt redundant nervous myself. Krogan got me in stranglehold. Used incineration attack. Got lucky. Said this was an easy job, he gasped. Guess we'd both been burned. Asari very grateful. Could read her like open book. And as it happened, did enjoy reading. In bed. Woke up looking at barrel of pearl-handled Carnifex. My M98 another room. Another Black Widow standing over me. Only loose end left, she said. Her mistake. Didn't know I'd been in STG. Learned tricks dirty enough to clog a Quarian soup filter. Your barrier's very similar to your morals, I said, and threw my biotic grenade. Warped. When woke up from explosion, Asari had fled back to Afterlife. Felt lucky not to be in Afterlife myself. Hadn't been paid, but considered self-fortunate. Had broken Omega's one rule, in more ways than one. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Maybe next time. Until then, we'll stick to patter songs. In prophase you see chromatins condensed to chromosomes. In metaphase their centromeres align to make new homes. In anaphase they separate, then telophase arrives. And when cytokinesis comes, two cells lead separate lives.
Going to drag us further into depression and sadness and wondering why we came here today. So my mind doesn't quite get us to death, but it's not far off it. And Amazingly, I haven't hit Final Fantasy either, now that I think about it. I had a couple of moments in mind, but...
There's
so
some
for
big
me,
ones.
yeah. For me, my last one is Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's not the death, it's the conversation that you can have with... I can't remember what her role is. The sister. I think she's based in Saint Denis, and she's the sister of the... where would she... Is it an abbey? I don't know what the word is. Either way, Arthur meets
That's
up...
a word.
Yeah, that'll do. Arthur meets up with his sister after he's diagnosed as having tuberculosis. Meets up with his sister by pure happenstance as she's leaving to exit the territory on the train. Sits with her for a few minutes at the railway station, and he admits that he's really scared. That he doesn't know what's going to happen, that he's scared, that he knows he's been a bad guy. And there's this pushback from her that, you know, you're trying now, and that you're not a bad guy deep down and stuff. And you can see that there's a part of him that definitely doesn't believe this. There's a part of him that is really not convinced. And yet, nonetheless, I think this moment gives him a bit of the impetus. If you do this moment, I think the end part of the story for him hits harder if you actually get this side quest, because it gives a little bit of context to what's pushing him on to do something right with, like, the last, in your case, playing as him in the last hours, or in his case, in the last days and weeks that he has. So yeah, the moment with Arthur shared with the sister at the train station and his, I'm down, sister. Oh my gosh. Just thinking about it is just incredible.
Yeah. There's a moment also in Red Dead where it won't involve death, really. I mean, it has to do with, like, some of the characters already being dead. And I think, it's Red Dead, and not the second one, where his son takes up the mantle, and that's the tragedy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, you didn't learn, this whole game we played, and nobody learned anything.
Yep.
And you are not prepared to go into the next century. He's going to be dead within the year, and you know this.
And we already know that with Red Dead Redemption 2, already in Arthur's time, they know that they're being phased out, that their life isn't there anymore. And now we've gone through all of John's time. And if Arthur was already, like, you know, if his way of life was already disappearing, by the time of John, it's definitely gone. And then there's another how many years until John's boy grows up? Another 20 years? Yeah, that world's not there for them anymore. And like you said, he's gonna be either gone or he's gonna be in jail or something within not long. And for what?
Yeah.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
That's actually a fantastic example of something that isn't, it's not death. And it's a moment that just, if you think about it for more than a few seconds, it's crushing.
I came up with a couple examples, but I can't mention them because there'd be major spoilers for you guys. I know you haven't played these games, and so it's like, So I kept, like, digging and digging. I was like, which one can I use?
Can we get the titles of the games? I'm just curious.
Yeah, the Plague Tale Requiem.
Okay.
And I mentioned the Silent Hill 2. Now, Mass Effect, I was going to say, like, you know, the beginning of Mass Effect 3, but that's not really the same thing. You're almost kind of like moved to action than you are to, or focus.
Yeah.
Not tears. So,
I mean, there will definitely be some people who see leaving Earth as a difficult kind of action to take. But yeah, I especially with the other moments in that series, I feel like that probably not the one to call attention to.
I would say, like, critical moments in gaming, I would call that one a moment for sure. Like, oh yeah. If we weren't focused before, we are now.
Yeah. And speaking of Mass Effect 3, there's one that people may not have experienced, and that is if you romance Jack in Mass Effect 3, that fucking brutal cutscene that plays at the end where it shows everybody kind of that was involved in Shepard's life, and it just shows Jack alone, and you're just like, oh, I messed her up, didn't I? Shit.
Yeah, but I did think of one, and I'm pretty sure that you guys would be okay with it. But in God of War 3, because we know about Kratos' history and his curse of having to wear his family's ashes on his skin, so that's why he's pale. It's he was cursed with this, you know, Yeah, it's why he, was working directly under Ares, and then Ares only wanted he was jealous of Kratos having other distractions like his family. So, he cursed him with this berserker rage that he goes into a town and clears it out, and turns out it's his hometown, and kills his own family. And he has this regret ever since then that he can never fulfill, because he can't just bring his family back. But when God of War 3 happens, he runs into Pandora, and he gets this paternal instinct that turns on again. Like, this is kind of what would be my daughter. She's acting very much in that role. She's spirited. She kind of pushes back a little bit. She has a reason for her doing the things that she does, and you're there still trying to protect her, and everything you do is just not going to be enough, and you have Zeus to blame now. So you put all of your rage into fighting Zeus. So you have this one moment that's just a tearjerker, because he's so close to at least being a parent again for something that he did that he completely regrets. It wasn't even his fault, but it kind of was. So he has to live with those decisions, but now he can make amends for it, and it's taken away from him.
I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's not a game that encourages you to actually really feel anything that's particularly being felt, because of how much, if Kratos is feeling sad, well, he's angry. So it's not a game that the protagonist isn't communicating to you exactly how you should probably be feeling about this. So when you play, it feels a bit like you're playing an arcade game, and you just, okay, he's angry, I guess I'm angry too, let's destroy everything. But then you look into a bit of actually what is happening, and if you try and take yourself out of just that gameplay moment for a second and think about what actually this individual has been through, what has led them to where they are, what are they trying to achieve, yeah, there's more to it, and which is what I think is so refreshing about the reboot of God of War, where you actually have this ability to see the character from a slightly wider range. Emotions might be a stretch, but you do get this extra depth that I hope in some way goes to humanizing Kratos in a way that you can maybe go back and actually see a bit more of what he was doing, why he was doing, some of the tragedy of what he couldn't do, and also some of the futility of what he does manage to do in the end as well.
That's why I'd really love to see a remaster, like you said, legendary of the original ones, because if you can go back and play those and then go back to the reboot again, some of those scenes, especially in the God of War, with his boy, and his boy is not understanding why he's not reacting. You don't feel anything. She just died. How come? He has reasons, and you know them. But if you've never played the game, and I've seen it over and over, first-time playthroughs that have never played a God of War before, and they're like, Kratos is just a big jerk. He's a horrible parent. I'm like, you don't have to play the first ones, but you should play the first ones.
Yeah, I think that's the other part of that tragedy, is that, like, not only does Kratos have to live with his, not so much his choices, but like the knowledge of what he's done through Ares' influence, but he has to kind of bear that in mind in all of his future interactions, knowing that, like, he kind of lost control, and now he cannot be out of control. He cannot let his emotions really take hold. He has to shelter everyone around him from that possibility. That's even more painful.
Yeah, his capacity for rage is endless. And, it's the first word of the Iliad, rage. Yeah.
I can't read.
Yeah.
I think the problem I had was I got distracted for like 2 minutes when you were talking, because you said something like Kratos is a berserker. And the instant someone says that word, my brain goes to Clerks, the movie, where someone is singing a metal song with terrible lyrics called Berserker. My love for you is like a truck berserker. My brain was just doing that while you were talking. So if you go back and watch, you'll probably see me just going...
Excellent contribution as always, Kyle.
Would you like some making fuck berserker? I'm sorry if I didn't contribute in that time. You said the key word. I'm like the Winter Soldier, you know. There's like this word, you say it, bam.
And my final example in Stardew PvP.
Oh, shut your silly mouth.
Well, but if there was any games that you had a moment that you thought we didn't bring up that we should have, put it in the comments. We have a Discord. You can message me directly.
Talking to me.
I'm talking to you too. So if there's any,
leave a comment.
Leave a comment, and then also in our Discord, you can message me directly about any of the games that I kind of brought up, and you want to have a more discussion. I'm more than happy to talk about those games.
And if you're really struggling with the painful memories that we brought up, try playing Spiritfarer. It's a game all about grief.
You could also try playing Sea of Stars. It's not about grief, but it is shit. So it will distract you.
Just to be clear, Spiritfarer is really, really good.
I will check you guys later. Appreciate y'all being here today. Making me tear up and get sad and cry.
Yeah, this was emotional.
Robots.
Fernando's gonna cry again.
I might. I'll go play Borderlands too. Without you guys.
All of my sad moments are like 50 hours into games. If I went and booted up Red Dead 2 now, I want to cry. I'm going to have to do the whole fucking prologue. I got to do chapter 1 and 2. I've got to do all the side quests for the bloody sister. I'm not going to YouTube and watching it, Legion. Stop it.
Yeah, these were all pretty far into the game.
Yeah, we need time to build a connection.
For
right?
Hellblade, it's probably about a little over half.
Yeah, that one's not too
far. That's a vague measurement.
But it's not
how big is a Hellblade?
It's not that long.
That game's what, like, I'd say maybe like 8 hours of gameplay.
Right, thank you, Banana, for actually giving a number.
10, 12?
Thank you.
So yeah, 4 hours in and you'll experience
4 hours in and I'm distraught.
Yeah. Spiritfarer is all up to you. That timeline can be very short and you could be crying within 15 minutes.
I'm ready. Love a cry. Love a cry.
Okay, me too. Yeah. All right, we'll check you guys later. Y'all take care. Bye.
Okay to cry.